Lexington Bridge was built in 1924. It was built for the purpose of moving military personnel and their equipment north of the Missouri River. During this age of tensions, transportation was essential to the winning of World War II. Time passes and structures age. The Lexington Bridge, bridging the gap between these two counties, has done its job. It's time to move on to bigger and better things.
As a young couple, in our mid-20s, Sue and I had a chance to go to Washington, D.C. 2 or 3 times. And we always just dropped by Congressman Skelton's office, and we always met the congressman. And as a young adult, that was pretty neat. Then I had represented a couple other cooperatives and farm organizations and extension. And I can tell you that every time I went to Washington, D.C., I met the congressman. When you talk about constituent service, Ike Skelton is the definition of constituent service.
But we are here to dedicate a much-needed new bridge that will provide a safer crossing to and from our counties over the wide Missouri River. What better tribute than to have this bridge bear his name for eternity? Congressman Skelton, for your hard work, your character, and dedication to the people of the 4th Congressional District, I thank you and I congratulate you.
Today, a new era has begun with a stronger and a much safer river crossing. We honor those who have the capabilities to design such a structure, to construct such a passageway, and to those who made the financing possible for the completion of this marvelous project. And we thank you for a job well done. Ike has been a great representative for us. He has always said, if you stay close to the people will stay close to you. That, to me, is building a bridge. And today, we honor you, Ike, by naming the bridge, the Congressman Ike Skelton Bridge, representing the way you have stayed close to the people. He has been the bridge connecting the people and the government. And for that, Ike, we thank you very much.
The Honorable Ike Skelton has given his life in service so that we, as a people, can move forward into an enriched tomorrow. This bridge, the Congressman Ike Skelton Bridge, accurately represents this principle in the growth of our civilization. It will stand for many years and remind all those who drive across it of the legacy found in Ike's many years of community service. We, the City of Richmond, want to thank the Missouri Department of Transportation and especially thank you, Ike.
I get to introduce the next guest. And during his 34 years of education, he served as teacher, a coach, middle school principal, high school principal of 2 districts, and superintendent of 2 districts. In finishing his 34 years in education, served all those thousands of students from 4 different communities, still wanted to serve. And so he ran for the 26th district for the House of Representatives, won that spot. He will do the same thing in his position as he has done in education. Would you please join me in welcoming State Representative Joe Hall.
I think back to something that my dad said, and I think if I was going to sum up Ike Skelton in maybe one phrase, this would be it. My dad would say to me, Joe, he'd say, remember, nobody's any better than you, and you're no better than anybody else. Nobody's better than Ike Skelton. I think he ranks right up there with the best. All the things he's accomplished, he can hold his own with anybody. But I think any of you that know him, and any of you that have dealt with him, you realize he's no better than anybody else. He'll do anything he can to help you, and that's a rare individual that can do that. I don't think of him as a politician. I think of him as a statesman and definitely a public servant. So it's my honor to have the chance to introduce my good friend, Congressman Ike Skelton.
Today we dedicate an engineering feat. The magnificent new bridge across the wide Missouri. What an opportunity to kindle pride in our community and pride in our state. This is truly a moment to remember. Anyone who lives around here or who travels along this portion of Highway 13 can testify that for years people have asked, when are we going to get a new bridge? More recently, the question has changed to, when is that new bridge going to open? So believe me, I think it's impossible to exaggerate what a very happy day this is for those who have waited so long for this day to arrive. I acknowledge this honor with a deep sense of humility. Representing Missourians is such a privilege, as I've had a love affair with the state of Missouri all my life. Suffice to say, I will endeavor in the days and years ahead to attempt to merit this honor. This day opens a notable chapter in the history of Ray and Lafayette counties and in the history of our state. Taxpayers generously paid for the bridge and the surrounding roads, with the politicians and government officials setting aside the money, almost $53 million in federal and state funds for the bridge itself. But the achievement lies in the skill of the designers, engineers, and laborers whose work translated our dream of a new bridge into reality, providing us with a safe way to travel and taking us into the future across the wide Missouri. Now, as we dedicate the new bridge, we open a new chapter of our history on the Missouri River. For almost 80 years, the old bridge has served us faithfully. But after decades of service, it didn't take an engineer to spot serious problems, with portions of the old bridge floor falling through, the crumbling of the sides, and the rusting of the superstructure. Many have feared that our continued use of the old bridge was an invitation to tragedy. The new bridge comes none too soon. The safety factor is the most immediate benefit of the new bridge for those who cross the wide Missouri at this point. Countless drivers have suffered from white knuckles on the steering wheel every time they cross the old span. Safety comes first, but we cannot underestimate how important modern and well-maintained roadways are for local economic development. A bridge that meets modern standards will enable companies and manufacturers to deliver and receive the goods they need to conduct business. It will allow farmers to safely transport agricultural goods. It will allow residents and visitors alike to travel freely and frequently. This bridge symbolizes progress and that essential quality of American optimism, faith in the future, belief in ongoing prosperity, and our continuing effort to improve our country that has allowed America to prosper. For thousands of years, the river has been witness to history. The new bridge will bear witness as those who cross the wide Missouri will follow this road and add new chapters to the history of America. Today, we celebrate. This achievement is a milestone for our state of Missouri. When you cross the bridge over the Missouri River, look down, and in your mind's eye, imagine the boatmen of the early 1800s as they poled their flatboats down the river toward the port of St. Louis. And if you listen intently, you will hear them singing that chanty of the day. Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, you rolling river, oh Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, I'm bound away, across the wide Missouri.
Shenandoah, I'm moving on soon, far away, you rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I'll not forget you. Away, I'm bound away, cross the wide, cross the wide, cross the wide.
What a great day to come together and to celebrate the construction of a new bridge that is safer, more efficient, and the absence of the white knuckles that the congressman talked of, but also a great day to be able to honor a statesman. Now, that is a term that you do not hear used very frequently anymore. But truly, Congressman Ike Skelton is a statesman. He has risen to national prominence because of his integrity and because of his dedication to this country as well as his district. Let me use just a couple of numbers so that we can understand the difference between the old bridge and the new bridge. And I use this translating it into gas taxes, that wonderful conversation that we all love to have and think about. But the $1.25 million bridge that we as a state and as a region have been using for 80 years took 62 million gallons of gasoline taxes to pay for. The new bridge that we all will be enjoying here within the next month or so requires 550 million gallons of gasoline taxes to pay for. An incredible amount, an amount much more than obviously is produced than is produced in Lafayette and Ray counties alone. It means that all of Missouri has contributed towards the construction of this great bridge, and that's because this bridge is going to benefit many people beyond just these two counties. And that's how transportation works. It links all of us together. It allows us to live a better life when we have it in place. And so that's why it is important that we celebrate the bridge and have the opportunity to honor a great statesman for this state. So I would like to invite Ryan Engelbrecht to please join me on the stage and to join me in the presentation of a special gift to Congressman Ike Skelton. Ryan is the artist who you all have seen his work on the programs